Dodi li ve'ani lo. I am my beloved and my beloved is mine. These words are taken from perhaps the most sensual of the books of the Tanakh, the Song of Songs, where the images of the two lovers are used to describe our bond with the Creator. It is also said in the Song of Songs, many waters cannot quench love. The 18th and 19th century Polish rabbi and Talmudic scholar Rabbi Akiva Eiger reflects on this verse as follows. Other nations are compared to many waters, whereas the love of the Almighty for the people of Israel is like a blazing flame. However, reality proves to us that water, especially in abundance, can extinguish fire. Why then is this analogy used to explain the strength of the Almighty's love for the people of Israel? Water can, because this exactly explains the situation with the Jews. Water can indeed extinguish fire, but when it is in a pot on the fire, there is no danger of extinguishing the flame. Only when the separation between the water and the fire is removed does the water overcome the fire and extinguish it. Similarly, when the people of Israel try to assimilate with other nations and remove the division between them, they allow, God forbid, the water to extinguish fire. This is an important lesson as Purim is approaching. It's already Saturday evening. The 13th of Adar Bet 5784 is approaching, and I'm pleased to invite Chinomezi for the lighting of the Shabbat candles. So we could begin.
Shabbat Shalom. Please join me as we light the Shabbat candle. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness remind us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahen le'gnel shel Shabbat.
Amen. And we begin our service on the page 130 with a psalm ascribed to Sunday. Lechu neranena. Come, let us sing joyously to God. So let us sing joyously to God. Lechu neranena l'Adonai nariya letzur ishenu nekadma fanav betoda bizmirot nariya lo nekadma fanav betoda bizmirot nariya lo ki el gadol Adonai umelech gadol ale kol Elohim asher beyado mechkerei aretz v'toaf od harim lo asher beyado mechkerei aretz v'toaf od harim lo. Come, let us bow down and kneel, bend the knee before God, our Maker. For the Eternal One is our God, and we are the people God tends, the flock in God's care. Oh, if you would but heed God's charge this day.
Shir
לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק ועמים באמונתו. We're on page 132, Psalm 97. אדוני מלך תגל הארץ, ישמחו איים רבים, ענן וערפל סביביו, צדק ומשפט מכון כסאו. O you who love God, hate evil. God, guard the lives of your loyal ones, saving them from the hand of the wicked. Light is sown for the righteous, radiance for the upright. O you righteous, rejoice in the eternal, and acclaim God's holy name.
We're on page 133. Psalm 98, and it does continue on page 134. Sing to God a new song, for you have worked wonders. Your right hand, your holy arm have won you victory. Eternal One, you have shown your victory, displayed your justice in the sight of the nations. You were mindful of your love and faithfulness towards the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth beheld the victory of our God. Raise a shout to God, all the earth, break into joyous songs of praise. Sing praise to God with the lyre and melodious song. With trumpets and the blast of the horn, raise a shout before God the ruler. Let the sea and all within it thunder, the world and its inhabitants. Let the rivers clap their hands, the mountains sing joyously together at the presence of the Eternal One. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world justly and its peoples with equity.
אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק ועמים במישרים.
Psalm 99 is on page 135. God enthroned on cherubim is sovereign. Peoples tremble, the earth quakes. God is great in Zion and exalted above all peoples. They praise your name as great and awesome. God is holy. Mighty ruler who loves justice, it was you who established equity. You who worked righteous judgment in Jacob. Exalt the Eternal our God and bow down to God's footstool. God is holy. Exalt the Eternal our God and bow toward God's holy hill. For the Eternal our God is holy.
חבו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. And our beloved Psalm 29, מזמור לדוד, ascribe to the Eternal One, O divine beings, ascribe to God glory and strength. Let's sing it together. I thought we could try, since we know the tune, try to sing it in English. Not because it will be fun, we won't, probably because it will be more fun for us to try this. I prepared a bit, but let's see how it works. A Psalm of David. Ascribe to the Eternal One, O divine beings. Ascribe to God glory and strength. Ascribe to the Eternal One the glory of God's name. Bow down to God, majestic in holiness. Kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim. Adonai, Adonai al mayim rabim. Kol Adonai bakoach. Kol Adonai behadar. Kol Adonai shover arazim vayeshaber Adonai et arzei halvanon vayarkidem kemo egel levanon vesirion kemo ven re'emim Kol Adonai chotzev lahavot esh כל אדוני יכיל מדבר, יכיל אדוני מדבר קדש, כל אדוני יחולל איילות, ויחשוף יערות, ובהיכלו כולו, אומר כבוד. אדוני למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו ושלום. את עמו ושלום. Before we stand up at the last verse of Lecha Dodi, I would like to remind us that we are no longer living in the world where there are a lot of kings, queens. It's no royal majesty, which was once very important to the people to acknowledge the authority at all. Now we are left directly with the authority of God, and the royal elements. The royal elements are found everywhere in the world. It's the sun, it's the stars, it's many attributes that we see. The greens and the streets, the wind that blows. This is all the attributes of God's glory. And when we sing this song with this piyut, Lecha Dodi, beloved, come to meet the bride, technically we just stand up at the last verse. But what happens in reality is the opposite. We come. It's not the Shabbat that comes. It is us who makes the step forward, closer to God, to find, to see what cannot be really seen, and hear what cannot be heard, and sense what cannot be sensed unless we try hard and unless we focus. So let us focus on these words and the majesty of Shabbat as one of the attributes of God and God's love to our people, Israel. 139, let us sing together.
Oh
that throughout the week, it could be the incident that we did not shake any hands, we didn't look fully in each other's eyes, we didn't meet each other, most of us didn't meet. So let us spend a few moments and shake the hands, look in the eyes. You remember, it was a big deal 4 years ago while the COVID, we couldn't even do that. Now it's organic and it should be fun still. צדיק כתמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון ישגה. The righteous bloom like a date palm. They thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the Eternal One's house, they flourish in our God's courts. In old age, they still produce fruit. They are full of sap and freshness, attesting that God is upright, my rock in whom there is no wrong. The Eternal One, God, is sovereign. We stand up for Kaddish on the page 144 to separate this part from the main part of the service, which is the beginning of Ma'ariv on Friday. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. ילמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחיי חונו וימיכונו ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשא בריחו לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. 145. We may be seated now. Thank you. We continue on the page 148. The first blessing that comes in this middle section in the evening. Ma'ariv Aravim. The word Erev is somehow close with its root to the word Le'arbev. And Erev means evening, and Le'arbev means mixing. What happens in the sky? Just tell me. Every morning, it never repeated itself throughout all the times, we can be sure. When it's raining, it's one sky. When it's sunny, it's completely different sky. When it's hot, it almost blazes as the fire. It's so unique, and we should acknowledge the coming of evenings and this wonderful mixture. As a child, I thought when comes a specific time, it just becomes dark. But if you keep observing the sky, what happens is that the colors mix within it. The brighter lights, as if the cloud is coming, but it's not the cloud, it's the night. It's the shade of the night. That's amazing, and we should be aware of this and bless God for the wonderful joy of witnessing the changing of day and night. Let's recite it together on page 148 in English today. Blessed are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and who arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Imloch Aleinu, Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. 150, words of love and reciprocity.
Tanu limad
אהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. And we stand up for the Shema. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. 155 at the bottom. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Emet, we may be seated now. We are on the page 157, and I invite Chino. Let us read responsively.
Please join me on page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory, and earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered at Sinai. We bound ourselves to your way. Inspired
by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your visions of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day
when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Mi
לא מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. Amen. Let's recite on page 160 in English together words which before Purim and thinking of Purim are very important for us to understand and come back to them. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our sovereign, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Baruch ata Adonai, הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. And the people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat as a covenant throughout the ages for all time. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird which cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. We are opening the page 164 and beginning the Amidah, the Tfilah, the prayer, the standing prayer. We don't ask, not so much that we ask, but we are very grateful for many things. Let's remember in each in its span, maybe a week, maybe just this day, maybe the month or the whole life. We have many things to be grateful for and to. Amida.
חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן
מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריע השמש ומוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים. הוא מקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה לך חיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. 172. אתה קידשת את יום השביעי לשמך. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. So it is written in your Torah.
השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, היכל אלוהים ביום השביעי, מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
מנחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך ותן חלקנו בתורתך, סבנו מטובך ושמחנו בשבותך, ותראה ליבנו לעובדך באמת, והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה וברצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו בה ישראל מקדשי שמך. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Find favor, eternal our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayers in love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your spirit upon us. ותחזינה עינינו בשפך לציון ברחמים, ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון. מודים אנחנו לך. We acknowledge with thanks that you are the eternal God and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, a compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. ועל כולם יתברך ויתרומם שמך תמיד מלכנו לעולם ועד, וכל החיים יודוך, סלע. והללות שמך באמת, האל ישועתנו ועזרתנו, סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך, ולך נאה להודות. שלום רב, על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום, וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. You may be seated now. Let us spend a few moments in silent contemplation and reflection. The story of Purim that follows immediately after this Shabbat is truly a divine spy story, a Hollywood script on the level of Mission Impossible. Just imagine. A Jewish woman in the times of the Persian Empire under King Ahasuerus, a Jewish woman named Hadassah, undercover and using the alias name Esther, works as a secret agent in the royal court of Persia, where she uses her feminine charms to gain the trust of the king and becomes the main concubine in his harem. Her informant, the double agent Mordechai, prevents the assassination of the nation's leader, and then they save the entire Jewish people from destruction by the treacherous Aman. It's breathtaking when you realize that all this is the story of our people. And we'll all love this holiday for its fun, for the opportunity to fool around, to allow ourselves to feast and drink to our heart's content.
In school we sang Ani Purim Sameach Umvadeach. I'm Purim, a trickster and a prankster. There is only once a year such a merry holiday. And Purim songs are all indeed merry and cheerful. And it should be so because we are celebrating our own salvation. However, the story, the history, and the events of the festival itself are far from joyful. Royal Vizier Haman the Amalekite, descendant of Amalek, attempted to annihilate our people. And for our brethren at that time, it was not a time for merriment. We were attacked throughout the empire from India to Ethiopia, and we were forced to defend ourselves. This Shabbat before the festival of Purim is called Shabbat Zachor, the Shabbat of remembrance. Tomorrow we will read from the scroll, "You shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Do not forget." What is this commandment, which is at first glance seems to be contradictory? How can one erase something from memory while not forgetting? This has been the subject of extensive commentary by our sages throughout the ages, on many levels, and most of them see this as two different commandments. According to Rashi, remembering is fulfilled through recounting the story from generation to generation, while blotting out the memory of Amalek means obliteration of their very name from the earth. Ramban sees remembering as our instrument to remain vigilant against our enemies and strengthening our commitment to God, and thus blotting out Amalek, therefore, is not only a physical action, but also a symbolic rejection of Amalek's godlessness and immorality, of his perverted ways, sneakiness, treachery, and backstabbing. We all remember this episode near to the chapter Balak in the Sefer Deuteronomy. Sefer Deuteronomy. What's the name? We seem to be handling very good the first part, the remember Amalek part of the commandment. And we can easily recall many modern backstabbers and power brokers who act in this way today. We also can name many Amalekites from the near and distant past. But as we're also live on YouTube, we won't name them now, and due to its algorithms, our broadcast may be automatically suspended. Truth of life. But there is also another metaphysical reaction and reason why we should not talk much about evil and villains at all. In modern metaphysics and esoteric studies exists the concept of an egregore, which represents a collective physic entity formed from a group's beliefs and energies. This notion, while not originally Jewish notion, aligns very well with Jewish teachings that constantly speaking of the fact that the constantly speaking of evil can inadvertently empower evil. This aligns with the commandment to avoid giving undue attention to negativity, symbolized by the historical figure of Amalek. By focusing less on malevolent forces and not discussing them excessively, we all know how we do it. It's the commentaries in Facebook and WhatsApp and everywhere. We're discussing Amalekites every day. If we focus less on malevolent forces and not discussing them excessively, we avoid feeding these negative energies and thereby maintain our focus on positivity and moral integrity. And this principle underlines the importance of confronting evil with caution, ensuring that it does not overshadow our thoughts or actions, thereby preventing it from gaining unwarranted power or influence. This approach promotes the balanced way of life, encouraging us to address wrongdoing when necessary, without allowing it to dominate our collective consciousness or detract us from constructive activities. In other words, you either do things or don't even talk about them. And this is always very complicated, because it's much easier to talk and it's not so easy to do something. So why bother ourselves with talking while we can do stuff? For example, at the conclusion of the service, we always do Aleinu L'Shabeach. So why do I keep on talking? Why I can call Tabiso in honor of his birthday to open the ark for us. And also...
Stephen further.
And Stephen. Good. Please come up to the Bima. We open page 586 and recite Aleinu, standing with pride for that we don't need to hide our Jewish identity as many times in our history, throughout our history, we had to. Please come up to the Bima, to Aron HaKodesh. We're on page 586, the only page that I know by heart.
עלינו לשבח אדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה. וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומשב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגולי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו עינות, עמק מלכנו אפס זולתו, קרקעתו בתורתו, וידעת היום משבתה לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחתינו. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Simcha. Yes. Good. I felt it. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades or it extinguished. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full, but as night follows day, the candles of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more, and we are no more seen. Yet we must not despair, for we are more than a memory, slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life.
Remember from Bet David, Sidney Sarks, father of Linda Sarks' man, Abe Kling, father of Louis Kling and Amanda Douglas, Carol Laboff, cousin of Myrna Margot, Michael Brookstone, remembered by Bet David, Dave Teron, husband of Brenda Resnick, Lucy Weinstock, grandmother of Marian Hassel, Bertold Frankel, grandfather of Bev Bancroft, Jacobus Kunrad Lotter, father of Joan Smith, and Leah Osrin, aunt of Susan Tucker. From Bet Menorah in Pretoria, we remember Lionel Desmond Frank, father of Shana Frank de Kunha, and John Wilson, father of Eleanor Patterson. And those who passed away recently, Avril Shapiro, friend of Alexandra Schneider. If anybody has a name they'd like to call out, please do so now. We'll start at this side. We also remember all those who lost their lives in wars and those who have no one to remember them.
זיכרונם לברכה, may their memories be for blessing. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעולמה יברך ירותה וימליך מלכותה, בחיי חון וביומי חון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעולמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. We may be seated now. There are so many. Every time we turn to the Aron HaKodesh and then turn back, there are 2 times more people than it was. We have a few announcements.
Okay, the announcements for this week. Thank you to everybody who attended the service, both in person here and, of course, online. Cheder class tomorrow morning is at 8:20 with Mora Diane. We will be rehearsing the Purim Spiel, so please make sure your children are here tomorrow. Purim, this Sunday, 24th of March, starting at 9:30 a.m. Our celebration this year will include Megillah reading, fancy dress parade, so we ask you to bring and share eats and drinks, and we're going to have lots and lots of fun. Please make a note in your diaries that the AGM of Bet David and Bet David Kehillah will take place on Wednesday, 17th of April. All documentation will be sent out shortly. The next Midreshet Yisrael meeting will be held on Shabbat morning, 20th of April, and resource material will be sent out shortly. We conclude the service with the singing of Adon Olam, which you'll find on page 625. Shabbat Shalom.
Tzarkot Shabbat.